There are several ways to specify color values when writing HTML and CSS code. RGB and hexadecimal are some popular methods supported by all browsers. If you have experience in the print industry, you likely know the primary colors as CYMK, that is cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. These colors work well for a subtractive color system in which colors do not emit any light but instead reflect light from its surroundings. In a subtractive color system, black results from mixing all other colors and white results from the absence of color. For the web, the primary colors are RGB, or red, green, and blue. These colors work well for an additive color system in which colors emit light on their own. In an additive color system, white results from mixing all other colors, and black results from the absence of color. There's nothing intrinsically primary about red, green, and blue, but they do represent points on the color wheel that are equidistant apart. In the RGB system, the secondary colors can be created by mixing two adjacent primary colors. Red and green make yellow, green and blue make cyan, blue and red make magenta. The RGB color code for any color is determined by three values that represent the intensity of red, green, and blue. The intensity for each color ranges from 0 to 255. Look at this page. The quote on this page is in a P element, with a background color of black and a font color of white. Looking at the code for the page, you can see the CSS for setting the background image. To work along, use the link under the video to download the HTML page and the image. The color values are currently being specified with the color names of black and white. These color names are just some of the many predefined values that all browsers recognize. However, using predefined names can be limiting. The alternative method of specifying colors with RGB values allows for over 16 million possible colors. Set the background color of the paragraph to RGB 25500. This results in the most intense red with no green or blue mixed in. Lowering the intensity of the red to 100 results in a deeper red. Set the RGB values to 0, 255, 0. Now the color is the most intense green with no red or blue mixed in. Set the RGB values to 0, 200, 200. As expected, mixing an equal amount of green and blue results in cyan. Set all the RGB values to 0. The result is black. This is consistent with the additive color theory, applicable on the web because the color comes from light. In this color system, black is not a color, it is the lack of color. So what RGB color values would result in white? That would simply be the blending of all colors. Set all the RGB values to 255, and there you have the color white. Of course, the text is no longer visible unless you select it. You can get any shade of gray by setting the intensity of the three primary colors to the same value. Set the color to RGB 220, 220, and 220. This is a very light gray, making the white text on top of it difficult to read. To improve readability, always select a color for the text that sufficiently contrasts with the background colors. Now set the color to RGB 50, 50, 50. This darker gray has much better contrast with the white text, making the text much easier to read. Sometimes it may be more convenient to enter the hexadecimal value of a color. Hex color codes are just another method for specifying the amount of red, blue, and green that make up the color. Instead of using values that range from 0 to 255, hexadecimal values are a pair of values that range from 00 to FF. It makes sense to use letters for hexadecimal values because our base 10 number system does not have enough digits to represent numbers larger than 99 with only 2 digits. If we only use numeric digits from our base 10 number system, you could only specify 100 values with 2 digits, 00 to 99. Including the letters A to F along with the numeric digits increases the number of digits from 10 to 16. For any pair of digits, there are 256 possible values. This is how a 2-digit code can represent values from 0 to 255. Let's change up the color again, this time using hex color codes. Change the background color to #0000FF. Always use the hashtag when specifying a hexadecimal color value. The first 2 digits represent the amount of red in the color. The second 2 digits represent the amount of green, and the last 2 digits represent the amount of blue. As expected, the resulting color is the most intense blue with no red or green. Set the color to #C3C3C3. Because the value of the red, green, and blue are all the same, the result is a shade of gray. Let's set the text color to the same color as the lightest pink dot. Open the image in a photo editing software. I am using Adobe Photoshop, but if you don't have this, you can download GIMP for free. In Photoshop, you can select the eyedropper tool, and then click on the image at a location with the color you wish to select. You see the color is now set as the foreground color. Double-clicking this box will open up the color in the Color Picker. Here you can see the red, green, and blue values, which could be used to set the RGB color in CSS. However, you can also see the hex color code. Copy this code and paste it into the CSS as the color of the P element. Change the background color to a bluish gray of 444455. That will contrast better with the light pink. Wouldn't it be nice if the background of the paragraph could be partially transparent so the image could be seen under it? It turns out this is fairly easy to do using the RGBA color values. Let's first set the background color using the RGB values of 50, 50, and 60. This is a bit darker, but the light colors behind it will lighten it up when we add the transparency. Now change the RGB to RGBA so that you can add a value for alpha. The alpha value can range from 0, completely transparent, to 1, completely opaque. Add in 0.8 as the value for the alpha. Now the background color of the P element is 80% opaque or 20% transparent. This method for setting the opacity of an element is useful when you want the text within the element to remain fully opaque. For now, my friends, that is all I have to say about color codes.